As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
Hiya friends, welcome back to What D Makes. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I kinda like The Simpsons.
Well, duh.
And with that in mind, I wanted to make a Simpsons doll. For my first Simpsons doll, I wanted to make my favourite character, Lisa. Lisa is sweet and smart and sad, and I've just always related to her so much. But due to the proportions of the doll, I figured it was best to make an adult Lisa, and of all the different iterations, President Lisa from the episode Bart to the Future was perfect. I mean, especially with Trump currently in office. I can only hope that America will get a president like Lisa next. So, let's get started. I'm using another secondhand Draculaura. I think her round face will suit Lisa and her pale skin tone will be easy to paint over the top of. I did try to find a yellow Monster High doll, but that proved to be really difficult, so I'm just going to experiment with changing her skin tone instead. I start by removing her hair, which was hands down the worst that I have ever seen.
Awful hair.
I soften her head in hot water and then go in with a flathead screwdriver and long tweezers to pull out the glue from the inside. Oh my god. There was so much glue and it was so hard and clumpy. It was like one of those blackhead removal videos where they go at it for ages and they finally pull out this hard bean of gunk. Oh, Jesus. Next, I remove her face with 100% acetone. Now, because I'm going to change the colour of her skin, I want to give her body a little bit of tooth, so I sand down the parts that I'm going to paint with a fine grit sandpaper. I mix up some acrylic paints to make a nice Simpsons yellow, and then I start painting her legs, hands and forearms, neck and chest, and head, and then set her aside to dry. Because she's wearing a full suit, I'm not going to paint her entire body, just the parts that will be exposed. So this way, I'm hoping to reduce the chance of the paint scraping off by reducing the amount of paint available to be scraped. Does that make sense? When she's all dry, I seal in her face with a few coats of Liquitex matte medium, applied gently with a makeup sponge. I also seal in the paint on her body with a few coats of Liquitex matte varnish. Time to make her outfit. Now use my dummy doll to create a rough pattern for a sleeveless turtleneck blouse. Making it sleeveless will just ensure that the jacket will fit better. I use this nice grey fabric that I have for the top, cut it out, sewed it together, and added on the little turtleneck piece and some Velcro at the back so it closes up. And here that is, all nice and finished. For her suit, I used this purple quilting fabric. I've linked the pattern that I used for her pants below, however I had to make quite a few adjustments to make sure that they fit properly, as the pattern actually comes out kind of big. To make her pants, I cut out the pattern pieces, sew them together at the crotch seam, and then sew them together along the leg seam. I made the pattern for her jacket by tracing the rough shapes of the dummy doll as well. Now I didn't film the full jacket process because it was a little bit of trial and error. Here's the jacket all finished. I added in a cute little lapel to make it nice and smart. And I haven't added anything to close it because I wanted it to sit open. Her shoes are Frankie Stein's pumps, painted black, and I ended up cutting off the strap at the top so that they fit better. Face up time.
There he is! Let's give him a makeover!
Run for it, boy!
I've already sealed my doll, so I start off with pastel blushing. I blush a lighter yellow all over her face to remove some of the shine. I also use pastels to add depth to her eyes and some makeup effects. Now every time I want to save what I've done, I give her a quick spray with fixative. Like I explained in my last video, I don't use Mr. Super Clear for the following reasons. I then go in with a light coloured watercolour pencil to sketch in the shape of her eyes. I decide to give Lisa brown eyes because I have brown eyes. But when I'm happy with the layering of pencils and pastels, I start to go in with a combination of acrylic paint and watercolour. I do this by wetting the lead of the watercolour pencil with a tiny little brush and painting with that. I find it gives a really lovely opacity and is great for tiny little details. I draw in her eyebrows, which was a little hard because Lisa doesn't have eyebrows to go off. I totally stuffed up the first try, so wiped them off and tried again. I tried to give her a determined expression because she is determined to focus on the 3 R's: reading, writing, and refilling the ocean. For her eyelashes, I just give her 3, just like Lisa. Just painting in those tiny little eyebrow hairs. And some last little details. And finally, those eye shines. Lastly, the most important part, her hair.
You all have hideous hair. I mean, from a design point of view.
Oh, well, put it that way.
I'm using yarn because it's perfect for getting those spikes. So I made a whole bunch of yellow wefts. Wait, did you think I wouldn't film the best bit? It gets me every time. I start by making 5 little rolled wefts and hot gluing them onto her head to make the spikes. I'm gluing the wefts right onto her head. To keep her clean, I've wrapped Lisa up in cloth and plastic so I don't get little bits of yarn all over her. Then I use tacky glue to stick the other wefts around them, moving down towards the hairline. When I get to the hairline, I glue on some of the wefts reversed. Once they're dry, I can fold them back with the rest of the hair and weave a neat, swept back hairline. I fill in the side bits and then her hair is all ready to be styled. Using water and a toothbrush, scissors, and so much patience, I slowly work away at Lisa's hair until I'm happy with it, frequently asking my Simpsons nerd housemates for opinions. They are very helpful. And when the length is good, I brush in some deep yellow pastel around the roots to blend the hair with her skin tone a little more. Now, last of all, I carefully seal in her face with matte varnish and add gloss to her eyes with clear nail polish. And there we are, she's all done. Obviously, making a semi-realistic version of The Simpsons always comes out looking a little bit weird because they're just such bizarre characters, but I think this Lisa turned out okay. She's obviously much cuter than Lisa actually is, but I still think it works quite well. I'm really happy with the suit, I'm quite happy with the way her hair looks, and you know what, the paint actually stayed on her pretty well. I did have to do a couple of little touch-ups on her feet because her shoes scraped away some of the paint, but I've actually glued the shoes in place so it's not really going anywhere now, so she should be all fine. If you guys have any other ideas for other Simpsons characters that I can make, please let me know. I really enjoyed making this character and it was a great excuse to go back and watch all my favourite Simpsons episodes as well. So if you are like me and a big old Simpsons nerd, please hit me up with other suggestions. Okay guys, that's it for me for now. I hope you guys have a lovely period of time and I will see you next time. Bye!